Alrighty guys, and welcome to another video of Diablo 3. In this video I'm gonna show you a little about wizard farming and Torment 6, what helps me a lot and what you can do. I'm not necessarily saying you need to do this, it's of course completely up to yourself, but let's get started. I'm going for Act 1, Quest 10, and on Torment 6, obviously. What we're gonna do here is change it, start it up, and I'm gonna show you a little about my gear and what you can use. But let's get into the game first here. There we go. Alright then. The spells I am using here is Arcane Orb with Frozen Orb. I'm not gonna talk much about it. It's overpowered as fuck, but you already know that. By far the best spell for wizards, that's for sure. Let's move over to the next one, which is Magic Missile with Glacial Spike. It's quite unusual to see wizards with Magic Missile, but it works incredibly well with this build. The essentials of this build is to slow and freeze all your enemies before they get too close to you, and it helps incredibly much with that. But do what you prefer. Try it out a little bit. I don't know what works best for you. Anyways, we got Blizzard with Unrelenting Cold. This is just the rune I prefer. You can pretty much use any rune you want at Blizzard. Most of you would probably go for Snowbound to decrease the amount of arcane power you're gonna use. And I mean, it all comes down to what you want. I just prefer this Unrelenting Storm for the damage. We got Familiar with Icicle. What this does is, every time this Familiar shoots a projectile against your target, it has a 35% chance to freeze your enemy. That is incredibly high. Even though Familiar were just nerfed to shoot in comparison to how much attack speed you've got. And we obviously don't have too much attack speed. It's not the main stat, not one of the stats we want, but it works incredibly well for this build. I do think it's needed for this build as well. But try it out. If it doesn't work for you, well, then don't use it. Spark Flint can be used. It's not the best though. This build is not really about having insanely high damage. You can do with lower damage, but more defensive stats. We got Force Weapon. I'm not gonna talk much about it. We got Barrier with Pinpoint Barrier, 5% crit when you use it. And for the passive skills, we got Astral Presence, Cold Blood, and Glass Cannon. Astral Presence is pretty much needed for this build. You're not gonna go with Prodigy. Every time you crit, you want your arcane power back from your items, mostly. And Astral Presence makes you able to actually spam your Frozen Orbs. As you see, my helm is not the best. There's a lot of better helms out there. But I like it because of the arcane power gain every time you crit. It helps incredibly much for this build. And then we have my amulet. I was quite lucky to find this one. It's pretty good. And my chest. I don't really like this one. I would really like to swap it out with something else, but it's the best I've found so far. And we have my shoulders. These shoulders by far one of my favorite shoulders in the game. I love the shoulders. It gives you a high defense, gives you a high damage. It pretty much has everything you need. You can't go for normal Archon armor or even Wild Lord if you want that. We got Gladiator Gauntlets, not the best, but I like it because I need the gold. It does give me a gold percentage gain, and it gives me more gold every time I gain a massacre bonus. And as you see, my gold is quite low, so, but do what you want really. Then we got Leoric Signet. it's awesome for this build. Not only for the build, but for the run as well. As you're gaining more experience. So, and we got my wrists. These are incredibly good for the build because it gains you 20% cold damage. It's, I mean, it's extremely much damage you gain from that. We got Bulkata's Wedding Band. Not the best again. We got Witching Hour. I would like to find a new Witching Hour, but I mean, Witching Hours don't hang on the tree anymore. We got Puxfall. Still not the best. Black Hand Key. One of my favorite items in the game. It's extremely good with a socket bonus. We got the Cruise Boots. Not the best at all. Actually quite bad. And the Oculus, which also gains you when you crit, you gain arcane power. So there you go. That's pretty much my build, guys. Let's get to it, and I'll show you the run. What you want to do is you go to the Royal Crypts, and from there you're just gonna clear. Let me show you quickly. Just gonna walk up here. You're gonna clear Cathedral level 4 completely. And I'm not gonna talk too much about how the build works. Just you see it works pretty much. As you see, it's pretty good again. Even 6 monsters, they will never get close to you. You can, however, get problems with elite groups. But I mean, you're gonna get problems with elite groups with any build. And you will force die this build as well. You can't expect build, or any build for that matter, to keep you alive legally, especially level 6. But your death will be reduced with this build. I find it to be reduced at least. It all comes down to the build. Use the build, play with the build, and see how it goes. But you see, even normally white trash can be a little difficult to kill by normal build. Since they will get too close to me and will pretty much shoot me down before I actually get killed. But with this build, I can actually keep myself alive and even nuke shit down before it gets close.
Need more arcane power.
I'm not gonna talk anymore, guys. I'm just gonna let you see the rest of the video. And you see this place is quite packed with mobs everywhere.
I don't have
Pretty
enough
much
arcane
gain
power.
the sacrifice every time you get to
Here.
white trash, which is quite amazing. I am getting about 75% of a level every time I make this run. But anyways, guys, enough for this run. Gonna post a video soon about different legendary runs, what you can do to maximize your legendary farming, and so on. But until then, I wish you the best of luck with this build. If you don't like it, don't use it, obviously. And I'll see you next time.